Okay, so for my book, I actually took Jackson Hall's recommendation advice, and I read The Alchemist. So in the book, the main character is a young, adventurous shepherd boy, and in the beginning, he has this dream where a kid tells him to go to the Egyptian pyramids and look for a treasure. And so he goes to a gypsy to get advice about the dream, and she tells him to go for the treasure, and then along the way, he meets this dude named Melchizedek, and he's like a magical old man. And she also tells him to seek the treasure in Egypt. So the old man gets him to sell like his flock and head over to Tangier, where Santiago gets robbed and forced to work as a local merchant because he has no money. And the merchant teaches him a lot of lessons, and Santiago encourages the merchant to take risks with his business. And so when the risks pay off, Santiago becomes rich. And so once he's rich, he goes on to pursue his personal legend, which is like his aspirations. And he joins a caravan across the deserts of Egypt. And along the way, he learns alchemy from an Englishman. And Santiago learns the secret of alchemy is written on a stone called the Emerald Tablet. And he also learned from the Englishman is traveling to a location of a 200-year-old alchemist from who he wishes to ask about the secret of alchemy. And so during the caravan, they have to circumvent a tribal war in the desert. And so they end up in this place in Africa where he falls in love with a woman named Fatima. Santiago gets invited to a trip in the desert by the alchemist, and the alchemist teaches him about the importance of listening to his heart and his personal legend.
Is this Fatima again?
The girl that Santiago falls in love with and then has to work. Yeah, so. And so he convinces Santiago to leave Fatima and the caravan to finish his journey to Egypt, and the alchemist offers to go with him. And so basically, they go on this long journey and to the pyramids, and once you get really close to the pyramids, the alchemist leaves, and then the boy gets beaten by Arab soldiers. And so...
Why? Wait, why?
They were like, what are you doing here? And like...
So he's a foreigner to the city.
Well, no, he was in a place where he shouldn't have been. And so, once he gets closer, the alchemist leaves him, and he gets beaten by Arab soldiers because... So he gives them all the money, and they let him go, and then by the way... Yeah, so on the way, the alchemist shows him how he can turn any metal into gold using this philosopher's stone, and he gives Santiago the gold and leaves. And then Santiago starts to dig at the pyramid, but then the two men start beating him.
So, would you recommend this book to someone else?
I would recommend this book to someone else because it was actually very interesting, and it wasn't hard to read, and the plot was very straightforward.
Okay, wait. What were the things you said that you really learned from this that you took away? Like, what themes of the book? What did you say again? I just can't remember. I'm sorry. It's the cleansing process.
Yeah, the biggest theme in this book is how it's not really about the destination. It's all about the journey. Because along the way, he learned so much about himself, and he underwent all these life lessons and learned a lot of life lessons and stuff.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. What'd you read?
I read Theodore Boone, The Accused. It's a legal drama novel by John Grisham. The plot revolves around a 13-year-old boy whose parents are lawyers. He has a passion for law too, and he wants to be a lawyer. So one day he goes to school, and he realizes that a few items have been stolen from his locker. So he didn't think much of it, just goes on with his day. And then when he goes to bike home, his tire's been slashed. So he's just like, I don't know, and he gets it fixed. And one day he goes to school. Oh shit, I already said that, hold on. And when he goes to bike home, he notices his tires have been slashed. So then he goes to get them fixed. But his parents are too busy working with their clients and stuff that they don't have any time to listen to his problems and what's going on, so he just kind of keeps them out of it. Mm-hmm. So then he goes to school the next day, and he gets called into the principal's office, and there are two detectives waiting for him. And he's just like, what the heck? So they're like, we have reason to believe that you're in possession of stolen property. And so then they check his locker, because they have reason to do that. And then there's like all these computer tablets that were stolen from the store in there, but he doesn't know why they're there.
Okay.
And he goes back to buy home. His tires have been slashed again.
What?
Yeah, so he gets them fixed again. And then
Okay, well, what do you
word starts to get around that he is a criminal and stuff, and everybody teases him around the school. And he gets into a fight with like a group of kids, like a fist fight, and he gets suspended along with the rest of the kids. So then, through his suspension, he talks to his uncle, and his uncle's like, "All right, we need to think about this. I bet that the person that's doing this to you is like one of your parents' divorce client's son."
Very reasonable.
So then they start looking into that a little bit, and then the cops come to his door, and they say that his hat that was stolen out of his locker was found in the store. So then they search his whole house, but they can't find anything. Can't find any more evidence. So then when he goes back to school for being suspended, he hears that this new kid named Jonah has this new cell phone, and that's like, since they're in middle school, it's like not allowed that they have phones.
Right.
So he goes and he like talks to the principal about his phone, and he like rats him out. So they like start investigating, and they realize that he has like a brand new computer tablet. So they start investigating that a little more, and it turns out him and his brother were the ones that were framing him.
Jonah and his brother?
Yeah.
Framed.
Framed Theodore. So yeah, I recommend this book to people. It was pretty good. It was like the second time I read it, so it was okay. It's a good book though. You should read it.
What did you like about it?
I liked how it was kind of suspenseful. There was a little mystery. You know, he was like solving his own problems. His uncle. It's cool.
That's kind of cool. Like, very.
There's not like a lot of books that are like kid lawyers. What did you read?
So I read the very famous. To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, who actually just released a sequel to this book. Jokes at a Watchmen, but that's later.
Like, I wouldn't expect a legal drama novel to be that good, but it was pretty good.
So, Kill Mockingbird it's a book that's more set in the South of Alabama in the 1930s, when they're dealing with a lot of racism still. See, that's a very big problem. And one of the things they really discover in this book is like human morals and themes of just humanity and stuff, like how we are just acting when there's also like social tendencies about. So definitely, I would say for a summary, a real quick one. So our main character is Scout Finch, and then also Jem Finch, her brother, and her father, Atticus Finch. So Atticus is a lawyer. He's very smart, very well educated, and as we know, the South isn't so as highly educated as the North would be at this time, especially in the 1930s. So they definitely stood out from everyone else. They had proper grammar, much larger vocabulary than the rest of the kids. So they were always kind of standing out, but they weren't not everyone was very fond of them, this family, just because they were outsiders. They kind of harmed the southern way of life, just cozy. Everyone knows everyone. They're outsiders, so they're different. So it definitely throws the feeling off, but it goes down even more. It goes downhill even more when Atticus actually is defending a black man in court. Because this black man, Tom Robinson's his name, he was accused of rape of a white woman, which, as we know, discrimination, everyone hates blacks, so he's bound to die, but no one would defend him but Atticus. So when that happens, really people turn on that whole family. They already disliked him a lot, but then they really just turn and go, everyone goes at them. So it definitely is not good. And so this progresses throughout the book, getting until the end. And so the daughter who was raped, they didn't say her name, but the father, Bob Boone, he was the father of the daughter who got raped, obviously. And in the end, the court goes in favor of Atticus and Tom Robinson, where, all right, he's not accused, he's not guilty, he's fine. Bob Buell, who is the father of the raped daughter, he is infuriated with the court decision and also during the court cases, and just constantly calls him out on many things. So through his rage, he actually in the end attempts to kill Scout and Gem. But before we get to that, there's another character that was developed throughout the novel constantly. He's mentioned many times, his name was Boo Radley. He was kind of a mysterious boy who, like, not many people seen. He was kind of like, you know, suspicious. And yeah, so throughout the novel, he's constantly watching them, making sure they're okay. And in the end, when Bob is attacking Scott and Gem, actually Boo Radley comes to save them and kills Bobby Gould. And it kind of ends on that point. But definitely from what I learned from this novel was not all humans are born evil, like racist, for example. It's definitely just the prejudice of the South, like, so it's definitely just explores the racism side of the story, but also the social tendency. Finally, the last thing I'd really like to point out about this book was actually it's a local belief in Alabama that if you kill a mockingbird, it's seen as a sin, it's a terrible thing to do, like it brings on bad luck, and you almost committed a crime. That's how terrible it is. So, and what they're really calling a mockingbird in this book is Boo Radley. He's not dead, but they're saying that since he was locked away by his father, he was kind of considered dead because no one ever saw him. So Boo Radley and Tom Robinson, they're saying Tom Robinson was a mockingbird. They killed him, and it was a sin. And just so that's why the town is also in the region. They're corrupt. So they killed him when they really shouldn't have. That's what I would definitely point out about this book. This is a classic. I've read this so many times, and like this time I actually picked up on the racism and the like humanity. I've done some other things every other time I read it, but this time I definitely think I looked into it more. I would definitely recommend this book. I mean, it's a classic. Anyone who hasn't read it should.